Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cat Scrappiness YouTube channel. My name is Marla. Today I am sharing a shaker card featuring the Chevron Slimline die. Let's take a look at the products that I'm using. This is the Cat Scrappiness Thanksgiving gnome set. I'm using the pumpkins, the turkey, and the leaves. I've heat embossed them using Wow Gold embossing powder. I have cut my card base and the Chevron Slimline from Nina Desert Storm cardstock, as well as the cross stitch circle from Nina Desert Storm. I believe it's 100-pound cardstock. I'm using the Never Ending dies that were also released with the Chevron. They come in 1/8-inch increments, so they're perfect for building frames or using behind your card panels. Since my Chevron card panel measures 3 by 8, I used the second smallest one, which is 2 7/8 by 7 7/8, and cut my digital paper from that. I will glue that piece of digital paper to another piece of pattern paper that was cut just an 1/8 inch larger, so it measures 3 1/8 by 8 1/8. I will glue that to my card panel. My card panel measured 8 by 9, and I scored it at the 4-inch mark for a final measurement of 4 by 9. Now I'm going to start building my shaker card using those beautiful autumn sequins remixed. This is a new release from Kat. She released so many fun sequins. Lots of Halloween ones. If you make a lot of Halloween cards or you like to, she has some fantastically fun shaker mixes. I love these autumn ones and thought that they were perfect with that pattern paper. So I cut a piece of acetate to 3 by 8. I had to trim it. It was a little bit off, and I am gluing it to the back of that Chevron panel. Now you noticed I did not put any glue in the middle. I want to make sure that my shaker pieces move around freely. I did have some glue squeeze out just a little bit, so I am going to use my anti-static tool to make sure that I don't have any static in the center. I did back the Chevron piece on the edges using 1/4-inch foam tape, and then I ran my anti-static tool around the inside so that those little sequin pieces will not stick. I'll remove the backer, and then I will add another piece of acetate, which is cut to the same 3 by 8 over the back, and I find for me this is the easiest way for me to be able to adhere my panels without getting them all wonky. So this will enclose all of those sequins. That sequin mix is absolutely beautiful. I love the reds and the golds and the greens, and as I said, it went just perfectly with that digital pattern paper that I chose to use. So now my shaker part is complete, and we'll start building our card. I'm going to glue that using that art glitter glue, which is my glue of choice. It can be found in the Cat Scrappiness shop, and I do know that there is a problem with shipping the art glitter glue if you live in a place that gets really cold and it snows. Then it typically does not ship in the winter. So if you think you're going to be in need of some glue, I would recommend that you purchase your glue now. I took that cross-stitched panel, that little circle, and I glued it to the center, and I'm just showing you how I heat embossed those elements. The little turkey, I stamped it out using Versamark ink, and my Misty, I heated up my heat tool for about 30 seconds, put some Wow Gold embossing powder over that, and then heated it up to melt. This is how I decided to do my coloring. I'm using a Dove blender pen and my Distress Oxide inks. I am going to use worn lipstick and dried marigold, and eventually I'll come in with some other colors just to add a little bit more pop. I thought that it was getting a little bit lost, especially with the craft cardstock. So I will come back in with additional colors. I added the ripe persimmon, and then I will use these same colors, including candied apple, on the leaves. As you can see, I did not show you the coloring of my turkey, and that is because I do not like the coloring of my turkey. I tried so many things with these Distress Oxides to get that turkey to stand out, and he was just looking really flat, really blah. The coloring was not blending very nicely. I don't know what was wrong with it, but I didn't like it. Maybe it's just the browns don't blend all that great together. This was the first time that I had used, you know, a good portion of browns using this method of coloring with the Dove blender pen. So I will put some foam tape on the back of him, and when I start arranging my composition, I will decide not to use him. These are some Prima paints. I will list them in the description box below. I'm using that dark pink, and then I'll use the one to the right of it as well off camera. I am also using my Starry watercolors, so I just spritz water in there, mix it around, and use that second gold to splatter some more gold paint over those pumpkins and the leaves. And I actually did some over the turkey thinking it might do something for him, and it still didn't do anything for him. So I decided that I wanted to add a little bit more color. I thought that the leaves needed some brown, and I took that ground espresso. I colored the tops of the pumpkins, which you can barely see with that cracked pistachio. And here's where I start putting my pieces together, and you're going to see that I fiddle with this a lot. I'm trying to figure out exactly. I knew that I just wanted to use these particular elements. I didn't want to use any larger pieces from the stamp set, and I was having some bare spots, and I ended up, I think, stamping a couple more of the leaves and coloring them up and adding them just so that I had a little more bulk to my composition. And I do end up gluing the turkey down, but you'll see that very quickly I will pull him up, and then I will take another piece of I believe that these were stamped onto a Bristol Smooth, or no, it was the Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock. So I heat embossed the images onto Nina Solar White 80-pound cardstock, and I will take another piece and do some more heat embossing, redo the turkey, and when I put it together, I will just layer the new turkey on top of the old turkey that already has the foam tape on it. So there, I pulled it off. Here's the new turkey, and I am bringing in my Spectrum Noir markers. I have RB1 and RB3. I'll start by coloring the entire turkey with the RB1, and then I will add a little bit of shading with the RB3 on the sides, underneath his neck, and over where his legs are, and then I will work at it and blend it back out again. If you haven't followed the Cat Scrappiness Facebook page, it's called Cat Scrappiness Insiders. I would highly recommend that you head over there and take a look at that page. There's lots of inspiration. There is also a blog. When we had the release this past weekend, there was so much inspiration. We have such a fabulous design team. They're so talented, and everybody brings something unique to the table, and those are the two best places to find inspiration using these new products. As I've said before, there are not very many slimline dies on the market in this price range that are as beautiful as the ones that Cat produces. They're quality pieces. They're pieces that are going to last a long time in your collection. As you could see, I used those cross-stitch circles. I've had them probably for 3 years, and they still are just like they were the day that I purchased them. I am using some of the BG markers here. I didn't list them. I apologize, or I'm sorry, the BG markers, the BG3, and I'm using a BG9. BG9 is my darkest one, that dark gray, and then I will feather it out using the BG3. And then I will, there's like little tiny spots on those feathers. I will use a little bit of orange. I believe it's the B03 and B04. And then I will bring in a red, which is an MG5, and color that. And then the wattle, is that what it's called? Let me know in the description box below if I got that right. The wattle that's on his face, I color that with the MG5, and then I decide to use some grays, which I didn't list on the screen. I apologize. I used BGR2, I believe, and BGR4 for his head. When I was looking at pictures of turkeys, I noticed that the head was typically gray, and so I did color him with some grays. Then I took a GB3, I believe. There's just a small section on where his beak is. It's very small, and I colored that in. I will add a little bit of wood grain to the sign. The sign that the turkey is holding up says "Eat chicken," because of course a turkey doesn't want you to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. So my card will read "Eat chicken" on the front, and eventually on the inside I will stamp "Happy Thanksgiving," and this will go out to a friend. Here's where I'm using those MB markers. I color the whole thing with the MB1, and then I believe I bring in an MB4, and I will add a little bit of lines on that, and then I will do some blending on the corners with an MB3 and blend it all out again with the MB1. And that is going to be my turkey. I'll take it over to my brother Scan and Cut. I will use that to cut him out, and then we'll start finishing up this card. So let me know in the description or in the comment section, do you guys make Thanksgiving cards? As I said in my previous video, I think that some of these images would be fabulous for place cards at your Thanksgiving table. I just think that the images in this stamp set are just so fun. This is a glaze pen. It's my white gel pen. I'm going to add just a few little accents or highlights to the turkey's head and to the pumpkin, and then also a little bit to the leaves. It's hardly noticeable just because the coloring is so light. This is Rusty Hinge. I thought I just needed a little bit more contrast, and so I brought the Rusty Hinge in just to add that little bit of depth to the pumpkins. And then that's pretty much going to be my shaker card. I hope that you enjoyed this process video today. Leave a comment, like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to this channel. I hope that I see you back here again soon. And until next time, have a fabulous day. Thanks again so much for watching.